Not excuse. Not excuse.
I can make it up.
No, doesn't it also?
It's good.
What?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, Parshas Toldos. Anyway, we explained last week that not everybody is here, but we explained last week. Actually, I think it was last week, maybe, that the Torah is mechadish by the brisbane and besorim. A niflitig was last week. By niflitig Indian from Nachlis Yisrael. The Nachla in Yerushas Yisrael is Mabul La'aroi, and it goes according to the Kedushas in the Zera Av, Mishpachas Av, which is something that's unique, was a unique thing in the world. The Mamela, that's why everyone asked Mama Eda.
Since 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago? Okay, so I don't remember.
No, I told you
Ah,
over.
you told me
I
over
told you
afterwards.
over.
Yeah?
I told you,
Not
yeah.
too frank, yeah.
All right,
That's
good,
right.
good.
I heard this, yeah.
I told you over.
Yeah, it was there after.
Yeah, so and that's why Rashi says over there, yes, but my Eda, not on that he's going to have kinder and then this, but to care this idea that such a concept that you're going to have from all the Doros, you're going to have Mamash Kedushas, Yerushas, and Mishpachas Av. That's a Mamash Marble Digazach. So Mamela the Pshat is, so that's, you're going to understand now that why the Torah says the Toldos of Yishmael ben Avram, by the Toldos of Yishmael ben Avram, it says over here, in Chafei Yud Beis, as last week, it says, because of Eila Toldos Yishmael ben Avram, Asher Yolda Hagar HaMitzri Shivcha Sarah Avram. Muduyik, the Pshat is going after, it's Yolda Hagar HaMitzris. To Avram. Shadavke hayatzi mikan right as asher yolda halgar mitzvahs. Lahaino yichus mishpachas aim. Mashen kein hochen Parshas Toldos. It starts off. Eila Toldos. It's going to be the Toldos of Avram of Yitzchok ben Avram, and Eksiv going to this. Eila Toldos Yitzchok ben Avram. Avram holy as Yitzchok. Shekol hayichus mitzad mishpachas Avram. Because of the Mishpachos Avram, that's why it says Avram holy as Yitzchok. There's a kafel solution. So the pshat is because the Toldos of Yitzchok ben Avram, because Avram holy as Yitzchok. That is the Toldos. The Toldos is the Kedushas Mishpachos Av. Bezel miyashiv mashenira min apasuk sfas yeser. The kafel solution, like we just said. Upirish Rashi Shon. Rashi has two different pirushim. And because what's meant to kfeil saloshin that Avram Yitzchok ben Avram and Avram holy as Yitzchok. It's extra. It's we don't have to keep saying it. I know the first pshat was the Haino Acha Shekari Hashem Shmo Avraham. After and only after he was called that Avram was called Avraham. So all is holy as Yitzchok. That's what he was holy as. That's the second. The Melech Tzu is Eila Toldos Yitzchok ben Avram. Avraham holy as Yitzchok. The other acher, the zweite pshat was that Makmis the Leitzani Hadur Shahayu Amrim Me'abi Melech. This Abra Sarah, that the Leitzani Hadur was tainted that this was Me'abi Melech. This Abra Sarah. So therefore, Ukilapirish Bishvush Avash Mesnaged the Umas Olam. That's the ganze a very big yesod of the Hisnagdis. Of the Umas Olam to Klal Yisrael is always timing with this concept of Yerushas Yisrael. The concept of Yerushas Yisrael, Mazel Tov, and Nachlas Yisrael said it's a Nifla de Gazak. That this is mamish the Nakuda Sataina. We're talking about Amalek. They cut off the milas and they told much Becharta. That was the Ike Taina. The Yisod Taina was kagging the Zeri Yisrael that we're talking about, that we have Kedushas Yisrael, Mishpachas Av. So Mamela, the Pshat connect Kedushas Zeri Yisrael. That's why, so Mamela, that's why it says over here that Kosh Baruch Hu was Sar Klaster Ponav Shal Yitzchok, Damal Avram. What does that mean? It means not that there was a likeness there. People all the time you go, you see a kid, oh, you look like the Tata. This looks like the Tata. It means that there was some kind of resemblance. So you see whether you do see it, you don't see it, but that's what people tell you. They say it all the time. You could be holding somebody else's kid, and it looks just like the Tata. But But the pshat is, so Mamela, the pshat is, but over here, that's why the pasuk says Davka over here is Avram Holy the Yitzchok, and Dr. Ashi, there was the second pshat was the side class upon him Shal Yitzchok, that he looked exactly like Avram, meaning not that it was a some kind of semblance, there was a dogma that this kid, because that you can have any time. That doesn't mean it's meaningless, right? But over here, the pshat is that with mamish, it was mamish like it was mamish ketu'umin. There was mamish like the mamish twins. There's a measure that they couldn't tell all the knetchim of the face and this. There was no difference between the two. Mamish like identical twins. You couldn't tell them apart. Because of that reason, Dafke Samek Atera dead to the Avram Holidas Yitzchok, and Yitzchok ben Arbaim Shana. The next pasuk is Yitzchok is Arbaim Shana, because we're not talking when he's a little baby. He looked like, you could say he looked like the father. The pshat is not. We're talking more than we're talking about that when they were walking around, you couldn't tell the difference between the two. And this was a raya. That's the raya. The pshat is that Avram Holidas Yitzchok. It's a gewaldige raya. Holidas Yitzchok ben Arbaim Shana. Kedisa in the pasuk Chaf. The Lomairi the Bedimian Ba'alma Shashayach Afilu Yalin Sir Beyamim or Afilu is multiple Risa, people say, oh, look just like the Tata. Right, and multiple Risa, Ella the Mairi Hachash B'neim Hoyadami Mamash B'chol Prat B'shal Suras upon him. Okay.
And one didn't look older, everyone didn't look older.
Yes, that's why it was a Zikna, it was like the Zikna comes to, but if not for that, the Mamash looked exactly. So according to this, he says, in Parshas Vayera. In Parshas Vayera, it says in the Perek Chaf Aleph Pasuk Yud Beis, Vayam Elokim El Avraham, and the Pasuk Kebi Yitzchak Yikari L'Chol Zara. This is a famous pasuk. We all know that Kebi Yitzchak Yikari L'Chol Zara. Umiyad, right there, that's Pasuk Yud Beis, and then right after that, in Pasuk Yud Gimel, it says over there, so we know the drasha is also again weiter, very good. Why it calls him Ben Amma? Because that yichus from anybody else except for the Zera Avram is going to be called is it goes after Mishpachas Ha'im. Masha'en came by Avram Avinu. That's the chiddush. It's still schwer. It's a little bit schwer. Why? Because in Pasuk Yud Beis it says Ki Yitzchok Yikari Chazara Ma Mishadav Ki Yitzchok Nikru Zera Avram. So that sounds like from Pasuk Yud Beis over there, Chaval of Yud Beis, that's Davke Yitzchok is called Zera Avram. And in Mamish the next Pasuk in Pasuk Yud Gimel over there it says the Gamas Bena Amal Goyasi Beno Ki Zarachuhu. So the Torah itself calls Yishmael Zera Avram. So you tell me Kibi Yitzchak and not anybody else. Only this is called Zera Avram, and then you tell me Kizarachu. The Goy Asi Menu. Sha'Torah Atzme Kari Yishmael Zera Avram Kizarachu. El Vadai Be'eni Torah. You have to say that there's two types. I mean, it's one pasuk after the other. So you have to say that in the Eni Torah there's two types of Zera Av. The Hainu Zera Av Stam Kegon Zer Legavi right Ben Noach Shebna Yaresh Aviv Ben Atera, like it says in the Gemara. It's a Gemara in the Kedushin Dav Yozayin, and it's we brought down the Rambam in Hilchos Nachlis Vav Tes. The Pshar is that that's the lashon that a Ben Noach is Yaresh Aviv Devar Torah Min Atera, like that. So the Pshar could be right. The Hainu, what does that mean? She'ein zemi teres Yerusha v'nachlos. So we were explaining the pshas that Mefarshim said that like it wasn't a teres a Yerusha. It's not nachla. It's not Yerusha. It's Yisrael. Yerusha is only by Yidden. Only by Yidden you have Yerusha, and anybody else you don't have Yerusha. But still you have the ben as Yerush to Aviv. Why? Because that's machmas that he was b'makom to Aviv. He's the b'makom to Aviv. He's a person of the. He said so. Then there's a common nafkamin. There's an nafkamin of the nifter.
The question is here that you said he's ben shivcha, so it should be worse. But even by goyin is the shivcha is v'ladi kamoya.
What?
The question is here that it should be v'ladi kamoya, so it's the bechala shaykh to the father. It should be less than goyin yourself the Torah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. When you're talking about makom ma'av, So it doesn't make a difference. Even the mom is a shifcha, it doesn't make a difference because he's still b'makom ne'av. He's still, that's the zun, it's b'makom ne'av, whatever he is, whatever the status of the zun is. But he's still b'makom ne'av.
He said the Rambam last week. The Rambam last week, he says a lotion.
There's a Gemara in Kedushin. That Gemara
Goy Yeshav, but the question is about a shifcha, a goy, by a goy.
Because we're not talking about yichus. When we're talking about shifcha, with a zone of a shifcha, it's called them yichus. Yichus. But we're not talking about yichus.
And a guy who's with a shifcha also would have a bit of.
Yeah, whatever the zone is, because the zone is b'makom ne'av. He grew up in the body avi. This is b'makom ne'av. He's like a small not the tata, but not because of yichus. There's no yichus there.
Doesn't the Gemara itself machalik between the guy with his blood and blood, and they have some kind of chayes, but b'shenkin by eved is only chayes.
Again, yichus. We're talking about yichus, but I don't know if you're talking about. But here there's no yichus over here. We're not talking about yichus. Okay, this is go for the let's go for the Indian over here. The zweite Nachmin is also we said the guy b'shar krabi mishpachas av. Ma'ashenken yesh zera av sheyikra l'chol zera. There's an av which is called yikra l'chol zera. Sha'azera nisyachas it's nikra al shema av. V'hunagei l'Yerushas oviv nachlis of Yerushas Yisrael, which is nisyachas acha mishpachas av, which is a niflit. To tell you, it's an unbelievable thing. V'zeh dafka Yitzchak v'lo Yishmael. So that only exists by Yid, and that's dafka by Yitzchak and not Yishmael. Omelo haven the Isav and Nadarim. Oh, so the Gemara in Nadarim says very interesting thing here. Okay, I got it. Well, it says interessante Zach. The Mishnah says a person makes a neder she'eni nana lezera Abraham aser b'Yisrael umoter of the chachavim. So, practically Gemara v'Iku Yishmo, also he's also zera Abraham. So, ki b'Yitzchak yikar l'chol zera zara v'nksiv v'Ha'ika Esav. Esav also called the zera Abraham. V'Yitzchak v'lo kol Yitzchak. That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara in the Mishnah in the Gemara. So interessante Sach. The Mefarish, the Rashi says over here. Top here. Back to Gemara, the Zera Avram who mina of the Chachavim. So you're talking about the Zera Avram is that Yishmael is also Zera Avram, and yet he's from the Chachavim, and you're going to tell me he's part of the Heter. So if your person makes a neder, he's not going to be neder from the Zera from the Zera Avram. You have Yishmael, which is the Zera Avram, and he's still part of the Heter. So the Gemara says that's the possible. Ki b'Yitzchak yikar l'chol zora. Is the Pshaz, that's Mamayit, the Yishmael from Zera Avram. Esav, the Pshaz, Yitzchak, will ever call Yitzchak. So, Rashi, Esav, Eino Nikra Zera, Yitzchak, L'hochi Mutter, Be'ov the Chachavim. That's why he's Mutter. So, so it's interesting to say here. Who mina of the chachavim? Shekasav Rashi Mefurish Yishmael is a Zera Avram. Says Mefurish he's called the Zera Avram. The Rashi there. V'afal pikein who nichlal in the heter from the mutter b'akim. So that what the Gemara says now is that this would be a bishlam tir. It's a Gemara she'en Yishmael nekshav ki Zera Avram. If you're going to tell me that he's not called Zera Avram, that's the teretz of the Gemara. The happening was that he's called Zera Avram, and that was the kasha. And the teretz is he's not called Zera Avram because it can be Yitzchak. You call it Zora. He's not called Zera. That's good, no problem. Teretz, then it's a good teretz. Shahavamina, that's what you can say. Nikra Zera Avram. Avokine Hikshinu le'el dafilu achar pasuk shal kavi Yitzchak yikari l'chazara. That's Chav Aleph Yud. The Yud Beis the pasuk Yitzchak yikari l'chazara. The very next pasuk in pasuk Yud Gimel, it calls him. It says that he goy the goy asimenu ki zarachuhu. So the gam the goy asimenu zarachuhu. So you can't tell me that Shabbos said Yishmael is not called Zera Avram because the pasuk the Torah Leim roofed him as zarachuhu. So Memela, what do? But pasuk is muchlok. See, the gam is ben amal the goy asimenu ki zarachuhu. But say Lomer can allow. Shahava midah shel Gemaruhu that Yishmael was an action of Kizera Avram the Kol Davar. That was b'shayis that we said before. That b'shayis that the Habib was Yishmael's Mamush Zera Avram the Kol Davar. K'mash Malon true an action of Kizera Avram. He's really only a Zera Avram for something for specific things. Avalo lagabi Yerusha v'Nachlis Yisrael. But that's also shver a little bit because if that's what the Gemara is talking about, Lama Isa Mishnah Sheini Nanam is Zera Avram. Mutter of the Chachavim b'Bnei Yishmael Nichlal in the Heta over there. You told me that for self the Bnei Yishmael are called Zera Avram. If they're called Zera Avram, so why is that part of the netta that was made?
It's called. It's not called.
Yeah, so alright.
It's not called like that. That's telling you what it's called.
Yeah,
the Torah is Kolosh Bnei Adam also.
The Torah says you don't call it. The Torah says Zera,
and this is supposed to be roofed them as a zazul for you.
It's like Yikari Mechazara. So
the Rashi over there says it says that you know what we're talking about when he had zin only for that was he had zin. It was like only for that type of Zera Yisrael that was called that had the kedushas of the mishpachas aim, the mishpachas av. So about that mishpachas av, that's what he meant. So Memela, that's why Yishmael is not nismayid, is not nichlal in the netter, and is mutter to be an netter from him.
So by nachlis we're saying is that when that Yishmael is not considered Zarachel. By nachlis we're saying
by nachlis for sure not because that's
sure
that's the miut. The miut is he's not heisnishkin. There's no kedushas mishpachas av
and
by
he
Yishmael.
is considered b'nei
but he's fourth. He's called it is Zera Avram because that's the next pasuk. That's Chav Aleph Yud Gimel. Goy asimenu ki zarachuhu. Yeah, I got it.
What's gam?
Gam the goy asimenu. But that's good. So very good. So and the lashon of the Rashi over there says that, but also hazera kanada. You mean it was a specific type of data only that he was trying to be mayit. He was only to be not to be nana from the Zera Yisrael like that. Shemasnisim Mari Kishun other Davka Me'os Zera Shal Avram Shashayich Yerushas Yisrael. Lo Nodar Mizera Avram She'en Hem Shaychus the Yerushas Yisrael to Nachlis Yisrael. When we call Malcolm Tzarek it's still schwer. What's the matter? There's a schwer. Why? Because that's something we know that the Rashi is not really the Rashi over there. So before so all right, okay, it's good, but it's not Rashi.
He made it onto the page.
Yeah, he made it onto the page. Yeah, best of months, right? So, but all right. So, but also, if you look in the Ran over there, it's also made it to the page over there. Pirush Divri Basko Sheni Nenel Zera Avram Aser B'Yisrael Umoter Ba'avi Chachavin and Zera Lashana. Dafilu B'nei Yishmael Ve'esav Lo Mikri Zera Avram Ken Mefarish B'Gemara. So this the mashmos around is that they're not in ganzen, not from Zera Avram. So then we have to back to the tzarik to the Alta Kasha. What do you mean? So what do you do with it often a chumash? It's a chumash, a pasuk in chumash. Chaf Aleph Yud Gimel. The Zarachahu. That's talking about Yishmael.
The Ayv Chachavim and Yishmael, or just the Ayv Chachavim?
What do you mean? Where?
The Ram.
Yeah.
It says that they're not from Zera Avram.
Yeah, Yishmael and Esav both.
So it's Yishmael and Esav.
Yeah. Anybody like that, because that's not the Gemara is from Yishmael.
I thought the Ram was talking about Esav.
No, asking for. So he's asking for both. He's asking like that. But anyway, so it's fair. Tzarek Bi'om in a pasuk Yud Gimel Sham. The Gam is Ben Ha'amad L'Goy Asimenu Ki Zarachu Hum Shatar Yikar Yishmael Zarachu. The Hainu Zera Avram. So what's the third? It's a good chasha. The R Shlomo Cweiber is Sanhedrin. Like it's a Gemara asks in Sanhedrin. So the Gemara asked by Mila. The Gemara says the Mila was giving to Avram Avinu me'ata b'nei Yishmael l'chayvo in Mila. Ki b'yitzchok yikari l'chol zara. B'nei Esav l'chayvo. It's also from b'nei Avraham, because it comes from Yitzchok and it comes from Avraham. B'yitzchok v'lo kol Yitzchok. B'yitzchok. Okay. Maski v'lo Rav Osha. El me'ata b'nei Keturah lo l'chayvo. We know that Bnei Keturah are mechuyev Mila. So if they're nismayit, if you're going to nismayit, you're mamayit Yishmael, you're going to mamayit Esav. So mehekatesi that Bnei Keturah should be nichlal in that. They should also be memut. Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Abin, he said Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina, as brisi hefer l'rabbas Bnei Keturah. There's a reboy. There's a reboy to be marbe the Bnei Keturah.
Why should they be reminded from it?
Because they're also from lo b'chol Yitzchok, Yitzchok b'kari l'chol zara, lo b'chol Yitzchok, which is knocks out Yishmael, knocks out Esav, right? So Bnei Keturah also should be Yitzchok.
They're not Yitzchok. They're from Avram.
That's the goal for the point there, right? So the Pshah said they should be in this way, but there's a reboy to include them into that. Okay. Fine. Elmata b'nei Keturah lo l'chayvo b'hir Rashi sham. L'hainu b'nei Keturah osin shisha shenoldu la'Avram. Hein atzmam. It's very interesting. The Rashi Shita is not like what we thought. The Pshat is that the b'nei Keturah forever are chayiv and mila. We're only talking about those 6 fellows that were born to Avram Avinu Mamish. That was the Havamina, and that was that they would be nismayit. And the Pshat Zomela, they have a reboy for only those 6. Anybody else beyond that is not nichlal now. Lo l'chayvim. Okay, but here it's a Gemara. It's brisi hefer the Rabbis b'nei Keturah. Pirush Rashi the Rimaskal the Rabbis b'nei Keturah. Osim shishim levadam v'lo zarom. Very good. Rashi is neflidik. The Pshat is that the Gemara check nor only those six sons that Avram had from Keturah, but not anybody else beyond that. Av Avram the stav l'chol anolodim lo. But Avram is given a mitzvah, a mitzvah from the Torah also. V'havit shezes svaras Haran. That's what we're medayik from the Ran, that it's mashma from him, that they're in ganzen nish zera Avram. That's what the mashma is from the Ran over there in the Dorim, in Lamed Aleph. So the Pshat is very good. The Pshat is that there was no Havamina. Over there, the Vadi Alsanan Olin Avram Avinu Vadai Nikra Zera Avram. And we asked from the pasuk, often a pasuk that Yishmael is called Zera Avram. So he says that the like a sofit be'avu shel Avram Avinu. It's a niflatik azach. That the pshat that what do we say? We said that there's a yesod from kedushas zera av, and Mamela you can have this niflatik azach called Yerushas and Achlas Yisrael, which doesn't can it existieren by goyim such a thing. All right, the pshat is over here. The pshat is over here, but we're talking about the kinder from Avram. So we're talking about the kinder of Avram. There was a zichur. There's no pickpick on they came from some other place or whatever. They came dafke from Avram Avinu. They came dafke from Avram Avinu. So that is the nekuda over here. That on those six children, those 6 sons from Keturah, which are called b'nei Avram. They're talking b'nei Avram. So that's what it means. So lefikach nekroim zera Avram. Avanolodim and anolodim, the dairis for after that, the pshatz me'echatesim, and they came from anybody. Who knows where they came from? Leike b'zeh shum mitzir shehem zera av v'shpachas av. Ulefikach lohoye shum havamino lechayiv b'mitzvahs milo. There was no havamino on anybody other than the six kinder there. Milo shu tali b'zera av. V'zeh pirish b'pasuk Yud Gimel. That's what the pasuk Yud Gimel. We said Chaval of Yud Gimel that if the goy asi menuk hizarachahu. Yeah, Yishmos take hazarachahu. Is it could be Yitzchak Yikari l'chazara, but not Yishmo. But the pshat, but Kizarachu, but it's before he doesn't have that kedusha sa'av. He doesn't have that yichus from kedusha sa'av. But he's takazarachu. We have no pickbook on that. That's no
only on Yishmael himself.
On Yishmael himself, yeah, according to the Ran. Right? Shebiyad achar pasuk Yibedis by Yishmael. Also, Esav Indian niflish shel Yerusha Yisrael. Ki b'Yitzchak Yikari l'zar v'lo b'chol Yitzchak mikol makom.
Pshat in Rashi is only by Keturah more than Yishmael himself, because afterwards it says by Yikach Isha, he took her taka b'kedusha then.
So
Yishmael himself was a ben shivcha.
It doesn't make a difference. That's
So
all
it's
you got on that before. Yeah, this is.
No, but Pashas the Gemara in Yevamah Stav Kofol says that Azar Achmonu Lavrovinu like Tinsav Shivcha V'Goyed Limsh Chazara Basra. So he made a bris milah. It's part of the bris milah that you should only have zera that's shaykh to the bris.
All right.
So that's why Ravinu took a keturah with a bit of kedushin so that the
But
children.
it's not going to make a yichus. It's not going to make a
It's
yichus.
also with Kedushin. It is the same person.
The same person.
One was a shivcha, one was a she was a
No,
hugger.
she wasn't a shivcha. No, but then she was
Meshacher.
Then she was
No, the first time she was a shivcha.
And then the pasuk says shivcha.
Yeah, but
Even the
Targum
parents, it
says
doesn't-
that Sarah was Meshacher her before Avram married her.
Good, but still
the Gemara in Yevamos.
Right.
So
But the Torah calls it shivcha.
Yeah,
But
it's not.
Yeah, no, that's a very big point, because no matter, even if she's meshuchra, but the pshat is she's still called a shivcha.
And Chanami, that's what I'm saying. So even when she's Keturah,
I'm saying she's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a difference. I'm telling you, in terms of yichus, this idea of mishpachas ha'av, it doesn't make a difference. There's no yichus of mishpachas ha'av, even no matter what they are. It doesn't make a difference, except for directly from Avraham Avinu. So you know Avraham Avinu. You know from when Rivka, you may know, has an Esav. We know that there's no pickbook on when Esav was a zun from Yitzchak.
But
That's Baruch Hachama. There's nothing to talk about.
Avraham Avinu we over on the tzivui of the Kodesh Baruch Hu like Tinsav Shefcha V'Goyel Limshach Zara Basra.
Al Yidei Naviyah.
He's what?
Al Yidei Naviyah.
What did he do?
Sorry.
No, it's not Sarah. It's after Sarah's awake already. We took.
Why? It's a kedushin.
So the answer is it wasn't the shivcha v'goyah.
Okay.
So it's not nimshach zara basra. So if again, it makes sense that these children were shaykh to bris milah because the zera from Be'etzim.
Avram.
But
But
I'm saying the Pshat and Rashi is still a geshmak because the second generation who they married,
Right.
how they get married.
And it doesn't make any difference because the second generation forget who they married, but they themselves, we don't know. I don't know if they're from Avram Avinu.
Because if they didn't marry people with
Not because if they didn't marry. I don't know.
Hagar might have.
Hagar herself was married to Avram.
We know that
there's
Avram.
There was no pickbook in that Ishmael that Esav came from Avram and Yitzchak. This is clear. No, nothing to talk about. Elamai, the Pshat terrorists took away. There's no hamshacha. There's no kedushas mishpachas av because there's no hamshacha to that. It's like you had a nevuah on this kid, but right from now you can never tell. You don't know where it came from, so there's no concept of mishpachas av. Kedushas mishpachas zera av and mishpachas av. So that's according to the Das of Rashi and Sanhedrin, and the Rambam and the Doran. But you do a Shitas HaRambam. We know that a Shitas HaRambam, that's what we got again, because Rashi says that the B'nai Keturah, the L'chayvu, is that she has only those 6 kids. But Masha Enkein in Hilchis Malachim, Perek Yud Halacha Ches, the Rambam says Mefurish that B'nai Keturah are mechuyev in the Milah. And we're talking about all the Darius, and they got mixed up with the Yishmael, then the Mela, they're all Mechuyev, because they got mixed up in it. So we're talking about the Klor, the Pshat, according to the Rambam, everybody's Mechuyev, the B'nai Keturah. Lo rak osim shisha she'im mamish la'lodim Avram, chayovim b'milo. Alagam, the Darius saying, achreim chayovim b'milo. Kedisa, right, like in there. So Amra Chachamish B'nai Keturah she'im zara shal Avram, Shabo Acha Yishmael v'Yitzchak Chayev b'mila. That's the lashon of Rambam. So what do we have to say? I have to say, Rambam Savra Pirish like the Pirish in the Darim. We're not so great within the Pirish, but we have a Rambam that goes with the Pirish. Sheshayich Beis Bechina Shal Zera Avram. Again, we said that according to the Pirish that we have the two psukim in Chav Aleph, Yud Beis and Yud Gimel. There's a stira. There's one that calls Kibi Yitzchok Yikari L'Chazor, and the next pasuk says right afterwards Kizarachu, that Yishua is called Kizarachu. So according to the Pirish, according to the Rambam, we're going to have to say about that all the Doris of Keturah are going to be chayiv in Mila. So you're going to say you have to go back to this terrace that there's two concepts of Zera Avram. There's a Shenzachis Agam Yerushas Haaretz V'Nachal Yisrael. This first one is that there's a Kedushas Meshpachas Av, and the zweitens is Shem B'Metzias Boy Me Avram Avinu. If they come to Metzias, they come from Avram Avinu. Geshen Gesmatim in a pasuk Kibi Yitzchok Yikari L'Chazor, and Nesmaitu Me Elsa HaMetzias Shal Kedusha Zera Av. That miut of the pasuk Chav Aleph Yud Beis, when it says Kibi Yitzchok Yikari L'Chazor, means it's only the smite from the kedushas, from that mishpachas that could do that murdige hafladige chidush that the Eibusha was machadish to Avraham Avinu by Bris Ben Avasorim. So that's the goyim and smite from that. But according to the Rambam, they could be from Avraham Avinu. No, you're from Avraham Avinu, so that's why you can be mechuyev in Milo. Because they're the reboy of Gamla Rabbis, and Mamela B'Shad said, but anybody but from Yitzchok, from Esav, and from Yishmael, they're not mechuyev. Sheheim boy Avram Avinu Nakshavin Kizaro. Hayotzi Lono. Okay, so what do we have? Bottom line. L'fidas HaRambam and Mefarish Ben Adarim. Afilu Achar Amiyut shall be Yitzchok Yikari L'Chazor. Adayin Shaykh she told this Yishmael Nikra Zera Avram. That's what it comes out to be. But we go back to the Mishnah in Nedarim. If a person makes a neder, he's not going to be neder from the Zera Avram. Mutter of the Chachavim, Megam b'dei Yishmael b'chlal leheter. Who mishum? So according to the Rambam and according to the you're going to say that they're also part of Zera Avram. So why should they be mutter? You made a neder, they're not going to be neder for them, so why should it be mutter? Teretz is because according to like the Gemara said, that that's dafka because I had in zin only to memayit, and I only had a mayit that I'm not going to be neder from somebody from Nachlas Yisrael. Anybody who has a kedushas av would have mishpachas av. So that's what it is. Shalakacho yadaito be'esa neder shekivim l'zera Yisrael. Hashayich le'nachlis yisrael mashenkin l'dasa ran v'Rashi, but according to Ran, Rashi and Gansen, these people, Yitzchok Yikari L'Chazor is Mamayed Yishmael. He's not called Zera Yisrael. He's not called Zera Avram anymore. But Sanhedrin Kol Mashin Adam is Zera Avram. Kol of the Chachavim Shekulim Amuotim Mechlal Shezera Avram. Afilu the right Osa Hador Hanolodi Mamish Bimeno. Even the door are not called from the Zera Avram. And that's why you need by B'nai Keturah, we're according to Rashi and according to the Iran, we're talking about Dafka the door. Well, how you're marbe to be mechayiv and Mila. I was a memoy for Mila. Teretz says because they're a reboy. We have the reboy and the tells me that but those Dafka those 6 because those are the only ones where for sure. Because shekayna deretz achareim shleikel lehem shum yichus mishpachas av. V'amir b'maitim legamri shleikel lehem shum his kashrus al pi halacha l'zera av. Sha'afu pi sheyishmol be'esav it's b'metzias the Zera Avram. We said that's clear, nothing to talk about. Nobody's mafakvik on that. The Zel l'shitos and pirish and pasuk Yud Gimel. That's how they were first the pasuk Yud Gimel over there. Gam as ben Abba the goy asimenu kizarachuhu uki the pirish seforno. If you look at the seforno over there off and on the pasuk, it's mamish beradik sham. The Zel l'shana begam ein ruoi shatidig ala tigarish as ben Amma v'lo bincho. He says before the Seforno, he's the tells Avram the Abish that tells Avram if you don't worry. He says the Pshaz that you're worried about the Ben Amma, but Lo Bincho is not your son anymore. Mikomakim Lagoy Asimenu Kizarachuhu. It's nifli digazach that just because he was from the Zera Avram, even though there's no yichus over there, the Pshaz that he was out to become a goy. Who roy lechach ad kan l'shonim. Was that Pella? The Sefarno starts Shu ben Amba v'lo bincho v'sayim shu hi goy kizarachuhu. Make up your mind. Is he no bincho or is he zarachol? Which one is it? There it says the way we're saying it. Ben Avram, even though Yishmael is in Gansa not Ben Avram, keep him in Metzias. So in Halacha and which was in Nageya, the Pshat says that Takanai has no shaykhs to Zera Avram. But Metzias he is. Well, that's nothing to talk about. Zarachel the Goy Yasimeno, and that's why he was to that bracha of the Goy Yasimeno. Menira Dadayim, but still it needs.
It was the bracha to Avram.
Yeah, what?
It was a bracha to him. It was a bracha to his father.
Because Kizarachahu. The Torah is telling you that he's Zarachel. Huh?
That's a glick for Avram. I wouldn't bother me.
Could be a glick, whatever. So maybe it made him happy, but he's not called. He's not called Bincha. So we're not talking about his feelings. And Abraham was happy. Good, whatever the Eibishter did. He's happy with whatever the Eibishter tells him. But over here, the pshat is but he's Zarachol, but he's low Bincha. How do you get to that? There it is, because there's different madrayos. He's Zarachol Metzias, but he's not Bincha in anything. No get to halacha, any kind of yachas, any kind of zera kedusha sa'av, mishpacha sa'av. There's no such thing. Still, it got a little bit so better mekantis masbazain. What's going on over here. So I think the Zarachol Cweiber near it, the Dayim Dar could be done. That's fine. Hasbar is a chiluk ben a Rambam shagoyin esmayim Yerushas Yisrael avodayin hu beklal zaro. Again, the Rambam holds that Pshat said he does not have the kedushas Yisrael, but the Pshat he's called zera from Masha enkein Rashi nismait legamrei midin zaro. Mikol mokum b'metzia shaykh liya zaro. And Metzias is Zaro, but nothing in terms of that. Vagam shapirish chiluk b'zeh legavi bonim b'nei keturah. Even though we said we mentioned nafkim, it's b'nei keturah, whether they're michoyavim b'milo or whether the gambe b'nei hem l'daris. Shirashi savar akshisha b'nei keturah mamish v'lo b'neihem. Or the Rambam it's everybody's going to be michoyav b'milo b'nei keturah. Then a lot into them. V'gam b'neihem b'neihem. Adayin speaking beer. The Yesh Machlokas. If you look in the Gemara in Becheres, Machlokas Rashi and Tosfos Becheres Mem Zayin there, that Habas Shavil Haben BeYerushas Akim. There's a Machlokas the sheet that hold that when we say that the Dvar Torah, the Minatera that a ben is Yerushas Aviv, there's a Machlokas in Psak. Whether that means Davka the Ben or even a Bas. Even a Bas. So it comes out that Rashi holds that Lav Davka Ben, it's Bas also. And Tosfos is going to hold that it's only Ben. Only by Ben. Tosfos and Afanor, Ben Zayin on the top of the page there. The Hainu Kedalei, the Lake, right, so we're going to say it like this. Tosfos is Hevi Gemara the Kedushin. So Tosfos is going to hold that only the Ben and not the Bas. Why? Because the Gemara in Kedushin says, Masha Shegoyim Hei B'nei Nachla, that Goyim are B'nei Nachla because the Isa Sham Sha'avich Chachavim Yerush Es Aviv. The Dvar Torah, that's what it says in the Gemara there. Dvar Torah, Masha Amrei Gemara, the Akim Eina B'nei Nachla, yet the Gemara in Becheres says that the Goy is not B'nei Nachla. So is he a B'nei Nachla or is he not B'nei Nachla? Make up your mind. So he says, Pirish Atas says, Haina B'nei Teres B'chera. He means the B'nei Teres B'chera, V'nira the Hochi Prusha. The Afilu Gavi Yisrael, Masha Ben Yerush Aviv. The Haina Sha Ben Hu Yerush Es Aviv. V'ofen Yerushosa Hu Sha Ben B'makom Aviv. We said before that the Pshat is if you hold like the Rama means that the Pshat is that Ben. There's no Kedushas Mishpachas Av. And why is a Ben Yerush is Aviv? Because he's b'makom Aviv. So now we're going on Nocha Kanech over there, but it's Taka Nachlas. It's Taka Nachlas. Ad Kanei Kak that even by Yid you come against Ogan the Zel before the Pshat is that you see when the Torah in the Parsha of Nachlas it starts off, it says a Ben, And then it says, and nachla, and then it goes to the nachla for the bas. So they want to learn like this in the Rambam, that not the Rambam, the Taz is over here. The Taz is going to go like the Rambam, that the pshat is that a ben is always a ben, even a Yiddish ben is not is nochel from his father, but not because of the Seder Nachos. He's nochel from his father because he's taka ben b'makom aviv. And so even if you don't have it, and by goy, even if he doesn't have a Seder Nachos, but he's still b'makom aviv, and that's why he'll be. That's why we call Yerush. He's Yerush, but it's not really Yerush. It's a shame lovai that he's not a real Yerush. V'zeh din Yerusha. Umela eina bas nichlal bedin zed l'fis Seder Nachos v'Yerusha eina bas shaval ben. Shaben Kodma. Like I told you, the pasuk starts off. It talks about the nachla from the Yerusha's a ben, and then it goes and says, and if it's not a ben, there's no ben. You go to the bas. The over nachla to the bas. B'mahal the sharak b'no yarishov v'lo shar krovo. So in this case, so by goy mishum shehu b'makom aviv l'gabi ha'akam leika Yerusha's la'bas. So according to Tarsus, it's going to come out that there's no Yerusha to the bas because no by a goy. Because there's no Yerusha by a goy. So if there's no Yerusha by a goy, so the ben will be Yarish, he'll be a ben Yid, Yisrael will be a Yarish because he's a Yisrael, and he's a ben, and he's b'makom the father, so that's why he'll get whatever he gets from the father. Masha Enkein, Bas, she's only Nachla. Only Nachla, but there's no Nachla by Akum, so there's no Nachla by an Akum, so Mele, Bas not going to be Yarish. So that's Terza Shita. Right over there. Afagav shashayik smara shagam abas b'makom avia. Avolo b'teretz Yerusha. Then teretz Yerusha the Yerusha hagdima ben lebas. V'ater v'smaya kol Yerusha chutz ben abas by ben a ben except by goy. V'zeu svaras Rambam. That's what the Rambam is going to hold. Because if you're rational allowed shamiyat Yerusha, when he's nismaya from Yerusha lagavi akum who rak lagavi Yerusha. That's the Yerusha is not trying to. Say the Shar Yarshav She'ein Boim L'Yarish Rak Mikorach Yerusha. V'lo Mishum Shar he's b'makom the Av. V'afilu Habas Shehi Gam Bo Mikorach Ha'av Avol Kivin Damari of in Yerusha. But we're talking here is a combination that the ben is only going to get it because the shaykh to a certain Yerusha. V'ateri Kotzev Yerusha Sabas Achar Ben. So that's not, you're not going to have any problems over there. That by a goy, it's b'shayis that goy min a the ben is Yerush is aviv. Yerush means a shame lovoid. It's not really a Yerush, but he's b'makom aviv. And the bas and the bat that she's not, but it has to go seder Yerushas. The seder Yerushas, there's no Yerusha by a goy, so memel the bas is not going to be nichlal because they don't go any step further than just the ben. The gabi akim ein Yerush elu haben min mashpachas ha'av. Mazel ladas Rambam. Aval das Rashi, Ein Akum B'teres Yerusha Klal the Klal. The Akum has no shaykhs whatsoever to Yerusha. It's not pshat is that there's any kind of Yerusha here. V'hu memuet legamri B'teres Yerusha. According to the Rambam, you could say that by the ben it works in a combination. It works a little bit with a Yerusha, but there's not real Yerusha here because it doesn't go anything further than the ben. And the karach of that he gets the Yerusha is only because he's b'makom the Av. Masha Enken, according to Rashi, is the Eina Akum B'teres Yerusha Klal v'Klal. It's not no such thing. No, you can't. Don't give me this lumdus stuff that you throw in here. That he's a Yerush and he's b'makom. The karach is nothing like that. There's no Yerusha. So if a ben is going to get something, it's because it's b'makom Av. If it's a b'makom ha'av, so Bas also b'makom ha'av, south Rashi. So Bas is also b'makom ha'av. So according to Rashi, by an akum, the pshas you're going to have the ben and Bas are going to be Yerush Zaman when with this. Ma'am Yitzchak Yikari l'chazara. The ein Yerusha elam in mashpachas ha'av. Av l'gavi ha'akum haben Yerush avi mishum shehu b'makom avi levad. V'lzeg gam habas shayich l'zeh. Well, like a shum inyan shal Yerusha. Omar de Ika b'kedushin. The Gemara in Kedushin says Sha'akim is Yerush Aviv Dvar Torah. Yerush, I thought the same level. It doesn't mean that he's but Karach Yerusha. It's just using a term to understand the things are going from the Tati to the son. but it's not really. There's no Yerusha there, and that's the Maklokas, Rashi and Tosfos over there. It's going to be the same thing with the Rambam and the Ram.
So if you hold that the daughter is yours, so loy bekol Yitzchak is also being memayit bakol, the daughter of.
Yeah, but you don't need it. You don't need that because she's not.
If you hold it, why shouldn't she be?
Because she's not.
She's not.
The Torah itself was mamayit the bas not equal in Yerusha to the ben.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mamar. So you're going to throw in a kadesh that there's a Yerusha, a little bit of Yerusha dick over there. So then you already got rid of the bas anyway, because it doesn't go past one step of Yerusha, and whatever koach of Yerusha, whatever you want to call it there. So then. So even though she's equal, the in terms of her, she's b'makom the av. There shouldn't be any difference between whether the ben or bas. But if you're going to tell me that there's a mechanics in it, you still have to work it with an ayu and Yerusha. So the bas is knocked out. According to the Tosfos, the pshat is that's according to Rashi. According to Rashi, the pshat is forget it. The ben gets it only because he's b'makom the av. No Yerusha business over here. So he's been makim the av. So so it comes out according to Rashi that a ben akum is going to be Yerusha's father because he's just a b'makim av, and therefore the bas is going to be equal to that. Because and Yerusha is the pshat. That's only talking about a yid. A zun has Yerusha from the father. Yerusha from the father. So that's the bas is anyway second grade, the next step. And Memela the pshat. That's why by Rashi hold it by a goy. So Mamsh Nari Dikazak by a goy. His son and his daughter would be Yerushalayim. Dvar Torah. And the Gemara says the Ben is Yerush Dvar Torah, is Avim Torah. So that pshat lav dafka means Ben and anybody else who's b'makom the av, meaning the bas. That's only the bas.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, go on.
No, what about the matonis? The Gemara. There's a different Gemara in Sanhedrin. I think that the Avram gave the Bnei Keturah matonis, right? Because they had a tviyah on the Yerusha. They brought a raya from the pasuk that Avram took care of them with the matonis, but like this, they wouldn't have a mokum to have a
Rashi or Rambam. What are we talking about?
According to Rashi, because it's Yitzchak.
What?
No, because you say because. No?
No, see, that's why he gave him that.
Because they were shaykh to Yerusha. They were shaykh to
It was
Yerusha.
not the first time he had a krumah guy, you know?
Not the talent that. Okay, covered the. Well, interessant, whatever. It's not just to be Messiah. And there's a. Well, what's coming up tomorrow night is what? Rosh Chodesh Kislev, right? Okay. We covered Rosh Chodesh Kislev. There is such a thing here also. So we know that by every Rosh Chodesh there's a mechaben by Musaf in the Berachas HaMusaf you mechaben the different sedarim from the Shem Havaya. So each Chodesh has a different siddur. You know Makubu, you know these things. Yeah. So anyway, now they have it in every siddur. It's not a chiddush, you know.
Time for Parshas Toldos.
Yeah. Even a Parsha, even the kids, the iScroll kids would probably have it also. Yeah. So anyway, so for Kislev, it's Vayar Yashev Haaretz HaKanani. as a oval begarin otod. But Vayar Yoshev Haaretz Kanani, the Roshi Tevis, are the Shem Havaya for the Chodesh Kislev. So what's the shaykhus to this pasuk with Chanukah? We know that Rosh Chodesh is all the eris of the whole month of whatever Chodesh, whatever is kol or any kind of Yom Tovim or something like that. It's a fansachon with Rosh Chodesh. And if that's the Shem Havaya for the Rosh Chodesh, so Pshas HaMelah, this is gewaldige shaykhus, so the Indian from Chanukah in Kislev. So the Pshas is well explained. The Pshas is the Vayar Yashev Haaretz HaKanani, fragt the Gemara in Garin and Otod. So fragt the Gemara, V'yesh Garin Otod. Otod is a thorn bush. And the Malbim state the Pshas that was the snare. The snare was an otod, was a thorn bush. So fragt the Gemara, when a thorn bush doesn't have a garin, you don't have any kind of crops that anything is coming from it. So what does it mean? Yesh garin ba'otod. So the Gemara brings the Ma'aseh, the Pshas that all the Malchi Canaan, when Yosef took Yaakov Avinu, when he would come up to bury him in Eretz Yisrael, so the Malchi Canaan came to make a milchama. They all came from milchama. And they saw that the Keser from Yosef Atzadik was on the Aron from Yaakov Avinu. And Mamela the Pshat, they had Chaptei Spilus and the Pshat, they all began, they put all the Ksarim in there. How many Ksarim? Well, Lamed Vav, the name is Chanukah, then the same Shem, the name is Chanukah. The Pshat is so, we can't tell this to the Chassidish because they'll have so what happened with the Shamish? But all right. But,
how do you get to Lamed Vav?
Huh?
How do you get to Lamed Vav?
That's what the Gemara says.
Okay.
So Lamed Vav Malachim. Lamed Vav Malachim.
Aleph.
Huh?
It's not Lamed Aleph.
Yeah, I was close to being wrong one time. Good Gimel.
Maybe we should shut the camera for that.
Yeah, all right, listen, man. It's going to be worse when you get upstairs, believe me, that camera you got to worry about. Huh?
All right.
All right. So anyway, what did they see already? What was their spot? The Chaptei Spilus from the so they put his Kesser on the Aron there. So it's like the Gemara in Avodah Zarah. The Pshat is a fancy on the Gemara based on a base over there. That lost in love, they basically call in all the Umas Olam. They're going to start, and they're going to say, like, what's the command of advice about you guys? They say, whatever we did, we'd harvey this and harvey that. We did lots of things that are going to say, and we all did it for Klal Yisrael. We mamish did it. Everything was for the Yidden. It's Reishis Bar Elokim, and it was Stakol Bar Raisa Bar Alma. Everything was for the Yidden. So they say, shout him, you did it for yourselves, you didn't, whatever. And it goes like that, can say in the Gemara there. So that's the word. The Pshat said, this world, Breishis, Bara, B'Shvil, Torah, Shenikra, Reishis, the Pshat, everything is for the Torah. Everything is, there's no Shiloh, that's the Tachlis HaOlam. And Stachel B'Raisa, Bara, Alma, every part of the world, there's no part, there's no world, there's no Chayil in the world, that's Chutz Mimenu. So you're going to take all the Umas HaOlam, and they're going to say, when it comes up to the Yom Adin, so they're going to understand that this is an Echanami, that we're in trouble now, because they did it for themselves, but they're going to tell the Eibush that we did it for Klal Yisrael, we were failing, we were tough to Klal Yisrael, that this is the world is Breishis, B'Shvil, Torah, B'Shvil, Yisrael, Nikarashis. Yeah, we're also part of that world, that Kadosh Baruch Hu took the Mesus Shayim brings out, Kadosh Baruch Hu took out of Marisha, he says, brings them to Gan Eden, says, Cook was a Chab Gemak, this alles B'Shvilchu, alles is for you. The Pshat said the ganze Welt is for Klal Yisrael. So this is the word. The Pshat is an otod. What is an otod tree? Is the example, is the dogma of something it has nothing for itself. It doesn't produce anything for you. Whatever it does, it guards. It's a tuffle to what's inside. It's a shmira to the inside, and that's what you planted. You want to make sure that the pshat is that the inside, which is the ikr, is protected. So you plant an otod tree. That's what it is. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu was inspired with. They called it from that was Eish burning the snare for 7 days. He has a vikuach with him. The Pshat said that they tell you, these people that you see in Mitzrayim, these are the Iker. This is the Welt. This is mamish the Iker Tachlis of Welt. So that's the snare. That's the snare. The Otod is something which by Betzias, it is only this. So that's with Chanukah. Chanukah is the Pshat said that against the oven. The oven is Pshat said, where the Iker? Oh no, Yisrael. They kind of this. They were talking the Torah. This. It's us. It's us. That's why they didn't kill Klal Yisrael. They just wanted to make it in Deus and stuff like that. You get out of your head that you people are the Iker and stuff like that. You're not the Iker. Too much Mecharta. There's a Molech, with the Zeri Yisrael when they were against it. But they over here, it's where we want that. Where the Klal we're all equal. All equal. I don't mind if you're equal. So Memela of those the Torah is Vayar Yoshev Haaretz HaKanani that just gave from Rosh Chodesh Kislev Tzfang on the Eretz of Chanukah where the Pshat is that everybody, the ganze Welt, will come to that to the realization. The Pshat is that Klal Yisrael, the Torah is B'Shvil Yisrael B'Shvil Torah, and the Pshat is and everything else is in order to facilitate, in order to be Messiah that goal and that Metzias. And the Memela, that's why it was the Garana Otod. That's what the Yar Yashav Aretz with the Kanani, it is in the Garana Otod. And that was the Indian of Chanukah, and that's this fancy one by Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Bez Hashem, Shabbat is Van Nagul, and this is Daiva Kates L'Tzaris Yisrael. It's a gefährlich, but I told you this is when we attack the Lomdei Yisrael. When we attack a Lomdei Yisrael and stuff like that. So it's and They do it they're showing good morning, but we go on with life. We don't like everything that goes on. It has to. This is it's given another korban. It's like it's the Eberster's month. The Eberster month that we need to be able to understand that this is our life. This is the Iker Leben. This is the Iker life, and this is what life is all about. So this is in the Eretz for Chanukah. We got to realize that that's Rosh Chodesh Kislev. We got to realize that this is something that's has to be us to understand, to work on this idea, the Torah, the supremacy of the idea from Torah, just Torah. That's a Torah. Like this is gefährliche Sache. I mean, I'll just like so whatever, but. This that they're going to give up, there's been the guys are not learning all the time and stuff like that, and this is I don't know if I want to say it on with the camera, but it's a shtus.